This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Throwdown 3, Melbourne United and the Phoenix. It's 1-1 on the season. These two teams have both beaten each other, and we know how much this crosstown rivalry means to both franchises. The Phoenix, they're going to bounce back because they got their tails handed to them over in New Zealand on Thursday night, and I think they will. Let's have a look at a same game multi. The Phoenix to cover the 4.5. They're a better team from top to bottom than United. Mitch Creek to keep on keeping on. And Rajon Tucker's found a bit of form of late. Enjoy the game and gamble responsibly.
You know the score. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
Welcome to a sold-out John Cain Arena. Not a spare seat in the house. Aguero in the treble. Humphries puts that into the stands. Having one of those nights, Phoenix have got a huge problem. Hand in the face, it doesn't matter. Boy, it's a victory lap now for Melbourne United.
That was trash, absolute trash. That third quarter was disgusting, really poor, horrendous.
How's the unnecessary sauce? Ridiculously impressive game.
They have snapped a 4-game losing streak against Melbourne, and it's their biggest ever win in a throwdown. The Phoenix 84, Melbourne 69.
It's not good enough. I hate this feeling. When you go from simple to even more simple, there's a bit of a problem.
Hello and welcome to John Cain Arena on this balmy Saturday night in Melbourne. It's the third throwdown of NBL23. United find themselves in unfamiliar territory, sitting 8th on the ladder. They led by 37 minutes against the Jack Jumpers in their last game, but could not get it done. And Phoenix, they suffered too, a big loss at the hands of New Zealand on Thursday. Who will bounce back? Hello and welcome. I am Jenny Spring. Thank you for joining us wherever you are. Phoenix, they need to find some consistency, while United, they need to find some chemistry, and that would be made a little bit harder with big men Isaac Humphries out with COVID. To take you through all the action tonight, our gentlemen, John Casey, Peter Hooley, and Corey Williams.
Thanks very much, Jen. It's the halfway stage of the season for the Phoenix and Melbourne, and neither team would be happy with sitting outside the top 4 at the moment. This third throwdown in 4 weeks, 1 win apiece. Corey, both teams are going to be optimistic coming in.
Yeah, they have to be. And, you know, make no mistake, regardless of where they sit on the ladder, it is a rivalry. Don't forget, these two teams do not like each other. It's still going to be a big game.
Well, Phoenix need to bounce back, Pete. Their biggest loss in the last 2 seasons, just 48 hours ago in New Zealand.
Well, I tell you what's in their favour. Any team that has been beaten up so far in the same round, they bounce back and do it well. It's happened with Melbourne United. We saw it the other time with the Cairns Taipans. Just everyone seems to really relish playing within 48 hours after a disappointing performance. Alan Williams has been a beast, but the stats aren't always in his favour. His 2 best games when against the Breakers and against United were their 2 biggest losses from the Phoenix. So do they go hand in hand? Does causation equal correlation, or whichever way it is? Case, I don't know. We'll find out.
We certainly will. And how about Mitch Creek? Certainly in the MVP conversation at the moment. We take a look at some contenders and, you know, of course, Xavier Cooks, these numbers are coming into this round, round 9. So 17, 8 and 4. Not bad for Cooks.
Doesn't take into account his defensive efforts as well. He's not statisticalised. But this man, we just spoke to on the crossover. I love what he does.
Look, Keanu Pender's a stud. Both of these guys play at a high level. And let's not forget the next guy coming in on this screen, Wolf Creek, leading the league in scoring.
Yep.
And playing really good basketball. His team, for me, they'll make the top. Well, before I said that I didn't have them in the top 4, but when they're fully loaded and healthy, they look the goods. So I got him. Yep. Actually, no, that's not true. I'm not going to say that. As well as he's playing, I still have Cooks.
Ahead of him.
But he is right there. He's right there.
And we're still looking at some highlights here. He was terrific. has been all season, has been his whole career. But the one thing you got to remember about the MVP conversation, team performance matters. It does take into account how your team travels. You can't really have someone who finishes finals out to the top 6. He had a really good year last year, but they fell off in the end of the year and basically took his name out of the conversation. But he's been terrific, as he always is.
Now Melbourne 5-8, so if they drop this game and they're not favoured to win it, they're going to have to win something like 10 of their last 14 to be in the frame to play, or certainly to get into the top 4. So it's a big challenge for them right now, Corey.
It is a huge challenge, but I can tell you this, give you a glass half full mentality. We saw the Sydney Kings do something remarkable second half of last year.
Yeah.
So they're down, but they're not out.
But they're not out yet, and this is what Chris Golding said pre-game about where they're at.
You know, we're working, we're trying to get better. We show glimpses every game of us getting better and getting closer to a complete 40-minute performance, which is what we're striving for. We want one of them tonight. Our goal is always to put this club in the best position to go ahead and try and win a championship. So that doesn't change. Wasn't the biggest fan of the play-in when I heard about it, but sitting 8th, that sounds a little better. But yeah, as I said, get this club in the best position possible to try and win a championship. That's never going to change.
Great stuff there from Chris Golding. They've lost their last 3. Rarely have they lost 4 in a row, Melbourne United. The Phoenix starting lineup thanks to champion, and as you can see, they're going with the same 5 that lost in New Zealand 48 hours ago, and this team also rolled out this 5 the last throwdown.
Well, that's their best 5. That's their best starting 5. Gary Brown, good to see him playing. Was a game time decision after being injured over there in New Zealand. And here is Melbourne United's champion starting 5. Marcus Lee, he's going to have to play huge minutes tonight with no Isaac Humphries. Expect Dave Barlow to rotate through there. Rajon Tuckett, Golding, XRM, they all had 20-plus last weekend, and they led for about 99.8% of that game and ended up losing. We're still not sure how it happened.
50-40-90.
We sat here and called that game and were shocked to see that result, but let's see what happens. Anything happens in a throwdown case.
It sure does. One of the best rivalries in the Hungry Jacks NBL, and it's the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix up against Melbourne United. And it's Tucker and United. Here's Golding. Harassed by Kell initially, forced into a tough shot, couldn't get it done. Williams puts a stop to it. Now Trey Kell can push the tempo. They left him open. He fires, but can't connect.
Another big game and opportunity for David Aquera, XRM. Oh, Marcus Lee is athletic and he's long, but that's ambitious to say the least.
But you played in these throwdowns. Make any difference to you which end of the court you sat at, or what? How anything was different when it was an away game to a home end? Did it feel different?
To be honest, it is a little strange because of the sake of you go and warm up at a different end and things aren't right. You might have your timings not right where you can park. You can't park in the same spot, believe it or not. There's a lot of different things that go on, but in the end, you just throw the ball up and see what happens. And anyone who says, any player, anyone part of it saying, oh, it's just another game, in this, they're lying. Same with the Freeway Series, same with Adelaide Perth. There's always more to it, Case.
There's Tucker exploring, confronted by Williams, trying to draw a foul, couldn't get a whistle. Mitch Creek has the rebound for the Phoenix. So scoring, proving elusive at the moment. Kell now, Creek from close range does get us underway.
Nice pass over the top, good dive by Wolf Creek. Easy bucket. Second in the league in scoring. Pardon me, 22.4.
That's coming into this round, and I think with the result earlier today, and Bryce Cotton, he's just gone past him again, and Barry Brown's up to 3rd as Xavier Mays makes some room for himself and opens Melbourne's account.
Anywhere that he gets comfortable around that mid-range is a layup for him. He is absolute money. He's a master of the mid-range. He's Xavier Mays, and he's had an exceptional season. Just does a bit of everything.
Sure has. Plays game at a high level and is extremely skillful.
Numbers have been fantastic as well. Here's Brockhoff. Work at Brown on the retreat against Tan Mays. Now Brockhoff. Shot clock at 4. He's forced inside. They're going to call a goal tip.
Coming off that turnout, you have to defend him and run him off that three-point line. And the luxury that the Phoenix have is he can put the ball on the deck and get to the rack, as we just saw.
2 minutes played. John Cain Arena. And they left Ratan Mays alone, but he couldn't get it over the front of the rim. But another Offensive rebound to keep it alive. Golding. Aquera fires from long range, and he's off the mark.
They're going to test that. They're going to test David Aquera's ability to knock down the three. You saw how much attention Chris Golding is going to gather off that ball screen. Mitch Creek's going to take multiple steps off Aquera. They think they can rotate late and just carry a hand. If he knocks down 2 or 3 threes, they may change their defensive zone. But right now, with no stretch shooter in the likes of Dave Barlow out there as a big man, that's the way they're going to play.
5 of 23 at 22% Aquera as Creek goes hard again and draws a foul off to the free throw line.
Real good two-man action. Brokoff turns the corner, draws the D.
This one right here from Marcus Lee. You've just got to be a lot smarter than that. You're not going to have an impact on that play once he's gone underneath the hoop. No Isaac Humphries. You've got to be really smart about the way you operate on the defensive end.
So Creek to the free throw line, gets there more than any other player, 78% on the season. His numbers have been outstanding when you consider he's shooting the ball above 50% from the field and 39% from deep.
I mean, a legitimate MVP candidate who's bringing it consistently.
Well, there's a lot of talk on socials and people saying, well, there's Joe Chi. I'm sure they're eager to get him back. Well, it's too early to talk award stuff. I love the award debate as long as you bring someone to the table. I want to have your back. What are your stats to back it up? What's your reasoning other than he's your favourite player and you bought every jersey they've put out there?
Goldie exploring, takes them all on and gets it done.
And tough take. He's going to have to do that all night because there's so much of that defense just sitting in the paint, waiting. Good pass, big sauce.
Disappointed with that. Aquera quick hands found Lee, but he couldn't control it.
Dean Dickerman screaming to David Aquera to throw it into the air. You've got a 4-man running the break with a 5-man ahead of you. You try and have a quick little, basically no-look pass. You've got to throw that up there, let the big fella go get it and flush it.
Creek uses Brown and gets it back. 2 to beat, worried out of the points. Offensive rebound from Williams, who's getting it done at the moment.
Williams coming off a monster game despite the loss, 29 and 13. He's gotten better and better as the season has progressed.
For sure.
Well, I mentioned a little bit in the opener. So he had that 29 and they lost by 25. He had 30 against United when they lost by 26. Can you read a whole lot into it, or is it more the other side of he's the only one who's standing up in those games and doing something?
It ain't his fault, that's for sure.
Are you saying you sleep a little better if you're Alan Williams after that? My job's safe.
So tick over 3 minutes played here in the opening quarter. Phoenix by 5. Tom Hayes needs help here. Picked up the dribble. Eventually finds it in Golding. Shot clock works to 6. Golding thought he was fouled. Tried to milk a foul. Couldn't get a whistle. Now Brokoff feeds Creek. It's been more efficient here, the Phoenix, so far, and Creek's been doing it all off glass.
It's going to count. Goaltending.
It's Creek doing a fantastic job getting both feet in the paint, attacking the rim. Has a mismatch. Beautiful spin move after he gets cuts off. After he got cut off, goes up and it's a goaltend.
Timeout called. Phoenix on top here by 7. Let's get a word here with Mitch Creek. He spoke earlier this week with Annalie Maley Under the Surface podcast.
And I just remember going and thinking, like, oh, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna really give it everything. And I did not understand how hard it was going to be. Like, it was so brutal. And there was just moments where you're like, I hope I get a 10-day. I hope I get a 10-day. They're like, yeah, you're going to get one. You're going to get one. You're going to get one. It's coming. It's coming. And then 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. And I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, I could be providing for my family. And I was so miserable. I was so depressed. Like, it was bad. It was rough. I learnt the piano. That's how bad it was.
There you go.
My mum was a concert pianist, and I was like, I need to do something that reminds me of home. So I bought a keyboard. I started learning how to play, and I played mum's favourite songs, and then like video her and play the songs to her. And it's funny because I still have the videos of me learning them.
It's terrible.
I was so bad. I was like, you know, trying to bloody whack a cat with a hammer. Like it didn't sound good.
Of course, going on to play in the NBA, and had his mum and sister in the stands when he made his first points as well from the free throw line, which was a little bit nervous as well because he was benched at the time. Got subbed into the game to take the free throws.
Got injured, I think.
Yep.
And he had to get picked off the bench. And Tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing more episodes come out. Annalie Maley, who's fought through a lot herself and has put together an outstanding career, especially the last 24 months, and stories she's going to be able to get out of people. It's going to be a very nice thing to tune into.
Yep. Keep a watch for it on the socials, and keep a watch for that man, Marcus Lee, as well.
That's why he throw it up. He'll go get it. Here's the Amy replay. Alan Williams going to come up that high on the screen. Just throw it up. The length. He'll flush it.
10 and 8 points, 10 points, 8 rebounds in that loss to Tassie last week. Showed us that he's going to be an impact player. A chance for Melbourne to eat into this lead just a little further as well. Tom Mays pushing down Brown. Called the foul on Brown.
The foul didn't quite get his feet set. Let's see there, was never really in front. Never had the chance to set himself.
So Peatling into the game. Quick changes as well as we see Ibaka on the floor. Tucker against Brockhoff. He muscles up. Goes with a running hook. That wouldn't work. Creek off and running with the rebound. 6 points in the game already for Mitch Creek. Trying to post up down low. They want Williams against Peatling. Double team arrives. Has to get it outside. Knocked down three. Oh, the bottom of the net for Trey Kell.
It's good basketball. Went inside out. Double. Williams had the mismatch. Kicks it out to Trey Kell. Nothing but net.
First three of the game.
And that's a shot right there he has to take.
The shot clock now works to 5 as they get Peatling against Creek. Lost the handle, dislodged. Now he has to fire. Never looked likely, so broken play again for United. They come up empty at 3 of 10 from the field so far. And Creek shares it. Brown, extra pass is a good one for Kell. This time can't get it done.
Still a good offensive set for Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Ball is rotating quick.
Barker for Lee. Peatling. Now Tucker. Ask Barker to fire, can't connect, and Brockhoff the rebound.
Last 2 offensive sets haven't been in. Just not a whole lot of connection on screens. Gary Brown. That's 2 fouls on Marcus Lee. He has a handle.
Listen, man, that Gary Brown is no joke. He is a true floor general. Just finds the open man. His ability to penetrate. The defense has to rotate. He's a willing passer. Lee goes to the bench early in the contest with 2 fouls. Enter Brad Newley, which makes them even smaller.
Well, they got Peatling and Barlow out there, but you've seen times where Brad Newley's played the 4 spot this season, and he's actually looked pretty good. But I tell you what, that's another one with Marcus Lee. Look, it was a fantastic pass. You've been caught in no man's land. You just got to let that go. That's going to be a layup, because what hurts you more now is he gets to go to the free throw line and you have to sit down with 2 fouls. You're leaving the big man department very shallow.
Williams continues to build his numbers here. From the stripe as well this season. The margin's into double figures already, and coast to coast. Nice work there from Rattan Mays.
Good job by XRM beating the whole Phoenix back. Phoenix coach would not be happy with that.
Brown gets Williams involved once more off the last, can't convert, and Newley wants to push the tempo as well. Golding ahead of him. Peatling joins in now. Inside the last 4 minutes of the opening quarter, Phoenix have had it on their terms as Newley gets past Adnam, and down low, Newley opens his scoring account.
And that is on the scout for Brad Newley. If he's not going to shoot a corner 3, he's either in transition or he's going to turn the corner when he puts the ball on the floor. Kyle Adnam is too slow to try and close the gap.
Too slow. He was too little. There was nothing he could do with that, even if he was there.
So the foul called on Peatling, his first personal, 4th team foul on Melbourne in this quarter.
As you heard, Simon Mitchell.
You come after him, though.
Peatling and Mitch Creek.
Tarangi onto the floor, feeds it Adnam, who got a good look at it. Is off the mark. Well done Aquera to hold off Williams and grab the board. Phoenix by 6. As Tan Mays resumes his battle with Gary Brown, decides to go solid, this time off the mark.
Simon Mitchell yelling a fadeaway was coming. Our scout, yep, that's going to be on. Maybe Tan Mays' scout. That's a really good defense from Brad Newley. Gary Brown didn't like it. And this is going up.
There's been a whole lot of bad passes getting thrown in this quarter by United trying to go over the top, and none of them have connected.
That right there, I know you're trying to be unselfish as a team, but that's been Chris Goulding's shot his whole career. When it's in semi-transition, if no one's going to pull him up, he takes that three every single time. I know you're trying to get that lob, but do whatever. But also, if you can get yourself going, it's really important for the team.
Adnam, and Tan Mays pokes it over the halfway line. Shot clock to single digits here for the Phoenix. As Tarangi inside to find Pinnock. His turnaround is all the bottom of the net.
Just reliable hands. You know he's going to be there to finish around the basket. Good job.
Query against Creek. Hands over to Barlow. Gets it back against Pinot. Wants to fire over the top. He's short as well. 5 of 15 from the field now, United. 33%.
Southeast Melbourne Phoenix doing a good job of just closing that paint up, playing off the perimeter. It's Melbourne United, so right now 0-4 from the 3.
It's Tarangi. Hard to the basket, can't convert. Tip-in wouldn't work for Dane Pinot either.
Getting those second opportunities though. Phoenix, 3 offensive rebounds. Make that 4 offensive rebounds already in the first 2 minutes.
Here's Goulding firing this time.
That's why you shoot it, Case. That is why you shoot it. I know you might have an easier option, but the way that man can stroke it from outside, it's a thing of beauty. Ruben Tarangi just trying to not get screened, and Dane Pinot is normally so good on those ball screens. You've got to be at the level when that man's coming off.
If it's a correct high shot, if anything, you give up the 2, but
they call that a lateral. Obviously, you go sideways instead of taking a step up. You have to take a step up on Chris Goulding coming off a handoff.
Kyle Adnam has just celebrated a milestone as well, his 200th game in the NBL. What a great career he's put together as well.
Oh, old championship teammate of mine, really good friend. And what I love about Kyle Adnam, he's been written off his whole career, his whole life. Everybody's saying he's too small, but the heart of the man, how hard he works. He's always the first one in the gym in every single practice. He's always the last one to leave. He's one of the best blokes you'll meet on and off the floor, exceptional teammate, and a big congratulations to him. And so many people would have thought that he'd never get to 200 games. He's got a lot more left in the tank, and remember him running around as a development player. And I still remember that game when I think it was down in Adelaide in 2018 when Chris Goulding had appendicitis. A couple others weren't playing, and I think he had 26, his career high at the time, and that was kind of the Kyle Adnam coming out party.
As a former Adelaide player as well, certainly enjoyed his 10th year in the NBL, 4th season with the Phoenix.
Always been a great asset to the Phoenix coming off the bench, and he's also an inspiration to any kid 6 foot and under wanting to play pro.
He also helped a lot of the critics who were always like, oh, he just looks like a surfer kid. Taking up surfing probably didn't help that outside noise.
It's Kell wheeling and dealing, but can't convert. So a chance for Melbourne to edge a little closer here. They were down 10 3 minutes ago. And Tan Mays shares it with Barlow, who's overdue, and he knocks down the triple. It's a 2-point game.
Oh, 2 consecutive 3-point hits from outside.
Creek, top of the key. Now Adnam. Pinot. Kell. Shot clock, single numbers, and Kell peels off the 2.
And that is a nice mid-range hit. One more dribble, he's in traffic. Mid-range shot was wide open.
And that's the same defense we're talking about down the other end. Trey Kell, I know, doesn't light it up from outside, but if you continue to back up off him, he's just going to walk into a mid-range jump shot. And this man is just a professional bucket getter.
So just a great job of reading the defense. Saw an opening, hesitated, crossed. Had the height advantage. As you can see right there, hesitated a little bit, crossed, went back right, takes the hit, goes to the free throw line for 3 the hard way.
I really don't understand the criticism of Xavier Rattan-Mays, to be honest. He's 7th in scoring, 8th in rebounding, top 10 in assists, 41% from deep.
I mean, for me, his numbers are really good across the board, but I feel the criticism would be more of his inability to coexist with Chris Goulden on a consecutive basis, game by game. That's what it is.
I completely agree with you, but the thing that I think a lot of people have forgotten is he was recruited basically not to, as Alan Williams tries to back down Dave Barlow. He was recruited to be the sick man punch that Barry Brown Jr. is doing for the Breakers. That's what he was recruited to do, where he wouldn't have to necessarily slot in for 38 minutes alongside Chris Golding and Ray John Tucker. He was supposed to be the offensive punch off the bench.
But it's Shea Ellie, right? Shea Ellie's been injured, so he's coming off starting.
Is Tucker against Kell. Athletically but unsuccessfully with it. Brown to keep that alive. They almost coughed it up. Last play of the opening quarter. Phoenix by 2. Creek wants it. Creek gets it. Makes room for the triple. And knocks it down. Big finish to the opening quarter from the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix as Mitch Creek gives them a 5-point lead. Quarter time at John Cain Arena. It's the Phoenix 23, Melbourne 18. Welcome back to Saturday Night Hoops here in Hungry Jack's NBL. Mitch Creek set the tempo early, scoring the first points of the game. At one stage, the Phoenix led by as many as 10. They needed a 3 on the quarter-time buzzer to settle for a 5-point advantage. 23-18 for the Phoenix so far.
Oh, a couple of defensive lapses from both teams ended up being costly. Got a close one to start. Phoenix looked like they were about to break it open a little bit. Dean Bickerman called a timeout, and that's what we expect from the throwdown. The fact that there's been a couple of blowouts this season in throwdowns, it's not what we like to see. It's not what we normally get.
The Phoenix with a possession arrow to get us underway here in the second. Big, strong body of Dave Barlow. And Alan Williams has been called for the foul here. Gary Brown shaken up by it. It's a first personal foul for Williams. Pressure up the floor here from the Phoenix momentarily. Now Rattan-Mays with Brown snapping away at him. Good defensive work off the ball here from the Phoenix, just giving Melbourne nothing to work with. Golding He has to turn it down. Rattan May, shot clock at 2, hustling D, but Barlow gets it done.
Well, just falling asleep again on the defensive end. I think it was Ryan Brockhoff. He was the one who got switched on to Dave Barlow. They were running out of room, had nowhere to go. In the end, it was a wide open 3 to a man that with his feet set, it's going in more often than not.
42% on his career, and he's hit more than 500 of them. Most active players, no one shoots it better statistically than Dave Barlow, as Gary Brown comes up with a 3 of his own. This has been the case from the tip-off. He seemed to have the answers as Tucker. Double palms, nice finish under pressure.
They are really guarding Chris Golden. Super tight. Chris Golden, sorry. Goes back door. Delivers a nice pass and good finish by Tucker, who needs to get going. And Tucker's coming off of his best game of the season. 23 and 10.
Oh, my.
Easy 2 for Gary Brown.
Well, I'm not sure what happened there, because you need to have a big trying to get Rattan Mays open, set a screen on Gary Brown. Him just trying to walk back and you throw a lob. Anybody could have got that.
Again, Golden getting close attention. It's to retreat to Tucker. Past Brockhoff, who contested well. Beatling keeps it alive and then coughed it up. So a chance now. Keller's pushing the tempo again. Has Brown in support. This time off the mark. Well done, Brockhoff, to try and keep it alive, but Golding, Melbourne get away with it. Rattan Mays against Kell. Nothing on offer for him. And the defense is good. Shot clock to single digits again for Melbourne United. Another error. Here's Mitch Creek. Teammates ahead of him for the moment.
That's a layup right there.
Wants to take them on here, and he draws a foul on Rattan Mays as we go courtside to Jenny Screen.
Guys, we know most of Melbourne United's scoring come through the trio of XRM, Tucker and Golding, but it was nice to see in that first quarter as Barlow checks out for a good earned rest that he's got 6 points to his name, newly injected himself, had 2 points and a nice crafty steal as well. It's those type of players and their bench that need to step up and join the party offensively for Melbourne United. On the defensive end, Phoenix are going to continue to run their turnouts and obviously that mid-pick and roll action. Melbourne United could look to potentially switch it. Obviously, with Marcus Lee coming in, that could be a little bit different. But when they go small ball with Barlow and Yulee, switching could be an opportunity for them to shut that down.
Good point that you make, Jen. Dave Barlow was 1 of 13 from the field in his last 4 games coming into tonight. Getting nothing from him offensively. He's 2 of 3, including 2 of 2 from deep. It just adds another dimension to what they do.
Or even with him shooting that way over the last few games, teams know that you've got to respect him when he's out there. There's certain guys over the course of their career, they're going to stretch the floor. And that's the bonus of just having him stand on the 3-point line. It's a tough finish from Tucker, but you can also see what Mitch Creek doing. Mason Peatling's now out there. Mitch Creek's taking another step towards the basket to shrink it up, because doesn't have that respect on the 3-ball.
Suggestion of an offensive foul there from Kell as he went over the top of Tucker, who in retaliation has now been called for the foul.
So I'm Mitchell asking for a flop on it. Here's my thing. If it's not a charge, or if it's not a blocking foul, or a charge, it has to be one of the 3, right?
Good point.
Yeah, no, I know it's not yours, but we need to have the conversation.
All right, well, let me ask you.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on, man.
What's happened here, then they've got the foul there. I can't...
Well, this year, thanks to Latrobe Financial, we are giving away a guaranteed $50,000. Enter now at nbl.com.au/legends for your chance to win. 50K up the grabs. Get involved thanks to Latrobe. So the margin is 6. Almost 3 minutes played here in the second as Tucker exploring against Brockhoff. Bounces into Williams and would not be denied.
See how deep they set that up. Tucker basically went to the corner to be able to get that ball screen, get downhill. But again, if you're on Brockhoff, I'm not sure why you're not going under that. You want to tempt him to shoot the 3, even though he's shooting the ball well in the last few weeks.
Kell working on Golding out of the baseline, talked out of the points. Rattan Mays quickly up the floor, looking to shake Junior Madut. Baseline, Peatling against Creek. A height advantage. Spins back into the middle. Travelling violation is called. Turnover number 7 for Melbourne.
It's good one-on-one defense right there. Those two in the past have danced before. Peatling and Creek.
That's something that will forever connect those two. I don't think there's going to be any forgetting of that anytime soon. I'll tell you what, if you're Mitch Creek, you probably don't mind that getting brought up every single time. As it comes with a highlight.
It's Brockhoff. And we'll do it. Creek against Peatling. They're at it again. Baseline. Just trying to usher him out of court. Foul's going to be called on Peatling.
22.
I mean, you got to know when Mitch Creek has the ball, he's going to take him every time. Goes to the line for 2. That's a hit him with the body. Easy call.
We'll take a closer look at that end.
A second personal on Peatling. He sits down. Mitch Creek to the free throw line. A perfect 4 of 4 so far in the game for Creek. Melbourne are none of 1 from the free throw line.
This is always going to be the toughest matchup for Melbourne United. I'll tell you what, I know we've had, for so long we've had a real guard highlight league, haven't we? But it's a power forward league right now.
Indeed,
Mitch Creek,
it is.
Xavier Cooks, Jarrell Brantley, Robert Franks, elite power forwards everywhere.
Pender. And Pender just said to you on that beautiful boat, that view was incredible.
I think he was just on the beach. I don't know if he was on a boat.
I'm going to roll with the boat. Yes.
It was beautiful.
That backdrop was beautiful.
Beauty of Cairns. Oh, cops one twice for his troubles. Trey John Tucker. Reminds me of when we saw each other on the boat in the harbour, Sydney Harbour, going through the final series last year.
That was a good day.
Until it rained.
Oh, Creek gets an easy 2 there as Melbourne go to sleep and the margin's back to 7.
That is a breakdown you cannot have. Give up an easy layup.
14 in the game now for Mitch Creek. Next highest scorer has 6. He's been the dominant force. Helped the Phoenix to a 7-point lead. Took over 4 minutes played here in the second quarter. Lob pass for Lee has been effective. He knocks down another.
They pass over the top for an easy 2-hand dunk.
Is Kell ready to go? Got it from Creek. A little deep with the 3. It came back to Mitch Creek. Oh, decided to fire the triple. Brockhoff gets an offensive rebound and now draws another foul on Melbourne. They're 4th in this quarter. Look at this in the maybe replay.
This pass, Ray John Tucker over the top to Lee for an easy 2.
That's what he can do. I'm still going to throw it to him and just say, go get a bucket one-on-one, but his awareness to quickly get it to Tucker and then take off and set his feet.
Newly back in the game.
2-3 zone here from Melbourne United.
Kell. Brown against Golding. Shot clock at 2. Just throw it to Mitch and ask him to knock down another shot. Can't on this occasion.
Trying to bail Melbourne United out because they're in a zone. It wasn't overly aggressive and had that first ball screen on the wing and they didn't turn the corner enough and then they just settled for one-on-one play. That's what the zone's designed for. The zone gets a big tick there from Dean Vickerman if that's how they're going to play offense against it.
Well, Melbourne have been efficient offensively. They're 5 of 6 from the field in this quarter. But the margin hasn't changed from quarter time. Golding, traffic, Lee, Parker. Shot clock at 3 from close range. Well, couldn't finish it on that occasion. And chance for the Phoenix. Brown draws a foul on Golding. So that's free throws to come now.
So they're going to definitely have a look at this. So they might have a look at potentially upgrading. Doesn't like it, but you can hear Simon Mitchell, and he made a good point. He's not necessarily in front. He comes across the body. But what he did do well is lead with the inside shoulder. Rather than going for a hug, where you go for the inside shoulder, where you're trying to get in that position, his left arm, his left hand to get the ball. And everybody knows what he's trying to do, just slow down the play. So that's one way you can try and hide it. Rather than if you use your outside arm, the right arm, and you hug someone trying to slow it down, immediate unsportsmanlike, doesn't even get looked at.
Holy Jesus.
He's working them hard, isn't he, Simon Mitchell? And this season, with thanks to MG, we are giving away a brand new MG ZS EV electric car. It's valued at $44,990. Enter now at nbl.com.au/winmg. Great prize for you there, thanks to MG. Phoenix with another opportunity. Williams working against Aquera. Lee joins in as well. And more free throws to come here for the Phoenix.
Good job out of Phoenix getting the ball to Big Sauce in the post. Easy mismatch, size advantage. The double comes, but he continues to play through it. Takes the hit. They're in the bonus, so he goes to the stripe. Good charity stripe for 2.
It's an overly physical game right now. Have a look at those numbers from Alan Williams. 17 points a game, 9.2 rebounds. He's had those big performances that we've talked about. And now when we talk awards, the All-NBL team, you can only have 2 inside players in the first team, 2 outside players. And those names, we spoke about it on overtime. So you've obviously got Mitch Creek, you've obviously got Xavier Cooks, Keanu Pinder, Robert Franks is in the conversation, Jarrell Brantley, Derek Pardon. We're not even talking about Alan Williams' numbers, how terrific he's having in the season. Only 4 of those can make it.
It's a super competition when you look at it that way. Here's Ratama's taking them on and coming up with a finish as well. He's got 8 now to lead Melbourne.
XRM continues to tick over the scoreboard.
Brown elevates against him and knocks down 2 of his own, so he's up to 7.
It's a good point guard matchup. 2 really good imports.
So the Phoenix come up with possession. Pivotal stage of the season for Melbourne United. Tonight is the first of 6 games in 16 days. And 5 of those are on the road. And with a 5-8 record, that's tough.
Tell you what I love, though. In that pre-game chat with Jen, when Chris Golding talking about the playing game, chasing potentially 5th and 6th spot. I love that, because that's true. When you look at some other teams, the way they're performing, you've got to figure out what are you trying to get to. That's too easy there from Creek. Alan Williams going to be a timeout here from Dean Vickman. I wouldn't mind right now. Maybe they should just have a chance of putting Ray John Tucker, use his athleticism and his strength against Mitch Creek, because right now Mitch Creek's getting wherever he wants and doing whatever he wants.
Yeah, and right now with Lee with 2 fouls, he couldn't do anything right there. So that was an easy pass over the top, an even easier finish.
Well, Alan Williams is certainly having a great time of it at the moment. We're going to hear more about the big man at halftime in a special feature. Let's give you a taste right now.
My dad was a collegiate player at the University of Oklahoma, really good basketball player. Basketball for me began at a really young age. I think I started dribbling the ball at like 2 or 3. Played in high school. Wasn't really a highly touted recruit, but I had skill, I had size. Played 1 summer league, then went to China and played for a season. Crazy experience to be out of the country my first year out of college and be so far away from home.
Brings a lot to the table. Great energy about him. And his numbers have been very impressive.
I love everything about him. I love his character, his personality. Comes from a great family. It's great that they're here and get to travel everywhere he's pretty much been to watch him play. Tommy Greer in the beginning of the season was really high on when they signed him, and he's living up to it.
Yep. Struggled a little bit at the NBL Blitz in terms of getting into foul trouble, but seems to have adjusted.
And we don't often see that. I mean, we've seen Brandon Ashley, there's the name for you, last year for the Phoenix. I know he played for the Breakers before that. But normally when imports, they do struggle for an entire season. So big credit to him for how quickly he adjusted to the style of play in the NBL, because not everybody can do it. And it speaks volumes to, I guess, his game smarts.
So a 9-point buffer now for the Phoenix. Melbourne with their hands full. Tucker exploring. And nothing on offer. And they've coughed it up once more here.
The Phoenix are doing
Dee's been outstanding.
An exceptional job defensively on reading the scout.
So get a quick release shot as well. And it tumbles for Kell.
That friendly bounce. Now that's a friendly bounce.
Got a big 3 minutes here. Melbourne United, we know what happened last time. Well, that is too easy. Alan Williams having a look at his hands, thinking there might be a hole in it. How did that get through?
Brown. Ronald Williams wrestling with Lee. Down the low block. Single coverage there, and they try to reset. Turnaround, quick release, not on the money there.
I would have liked him to go uber aggressive, especially with Lee with 2 fouls.
This time, Marcus Lee just can't get the finish.
Oh, man.
Brown's pass, exceptional to Kel.
He drops a beautiful dime 1 to 2 times a game.
Yeah.
A beautiful one.
Last time on this floor, I think last week. I saw it. I saw you got around it.
Yo, dude, that's pass of the year so far.
Okay.
So far.
Mitch Creek, Barlow to beat, stops, fires, can't connect. Ball knocked down out of court. Phoenix will get it back.
Melbourne United have to be really careful right now because this game can get ugly in these last 2 minutes. And here he is. Hesitate. Nice, easy dime.
That right there, that is Josh Giddey-esque. Just throw it in front.
Yeah.
So Williams back to Brown. Shot clock single digits. Fires. Been good this time. Can't connect. Came to Williams.
It's going to be a charging foul. We pray Alan Williams is smart. And as soon as he got that offensive rebound, his eyes lit up, and Marcus Lee did not move. Have another look at this. Marcus Lee has been standing there since 2021.
Easy call.
Easy call. Tell you what, those are the ones when you're in the replay center. You just take a big sigh of relief because you know that's if that does get challenged, it's going to be half a second and go straight back as unsuccessful.
And that is the correct thing to do, Coach Simon Mitchell. Take Williams out the game with 2 fouls with 2 minutes left in the second quarter, and you're up 12.
Yep. Timeout called by Simon Mitchell. Of course, the action continues tomorrow. Sydney hosting Adelaide and Brisbane hosting Tassie as well. 2 good games coming your way before we finish round 9 in Wollongong with Illawarra against Melbourne.
What about that win from Perth Wildcats on the road against the red-hot New Zealand Breakers?
Unbelievable. Corey Webster.
Corey Webster.
That's the Corey Webster we remember.
That's right.
Don't count out the Wildcats just yet. I wouldn't. But, of course, Marcus Lee getting into the start tonight, just his third game, made his debut in the show. Now, he has a history with you, Pete.
Played against him in college. We opened the season against Kentucky. Big unit. That year was all about, I remember a name, Scal Labissere, which had been shopped around, and I think I had 18 on that game.
That's what's up.
Jamal Murray had 36, I think, in that game.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
What was that? What was going on in that photo?
I have absolutely no idea. That's someone who knows that you're outmatched, you're playing against the big boys. You know, we're a mid-major school. I think they pay us 100 grand or something to try and beat up on us in their opening game. They always.
I've been there before, too.
All the big schools like to do it.
Exactly.
I think I was just trying to show coach that I was trying to match up to the size. Actually, had that same year played to Sean Thomas in Oklahoma. It was against Buddy Hield, who was on that team.
Oh, man.
So game pressure up the floor on Melbourne. This is great from the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
Phoenix smell opportunity right now to open this game up with 2 minutes left.
Let's go courtside to Jenny Screen.
Well, that was executed to a T there from Simon Mitchell's men coming out of that timeout. We know in game 2 that they really disrupted XRM in terms of offensively and took it out of his hands quite a lot. So credits due to Gary Brown at the moment and to Rungy for getting that done.
Mitch Creek, tough shot, can't connect. A chance now for Rattan Mays. Got up on the screen there with Marcus Lee. Barlow's been good. Against Creek, hands over. Golding. 2 of 5 from the field. Golding. Contact there with Mitch Creek that went unwhistled. And Marcus Lee will get it done and a chance at a 3-point play.
Good job crashing the old boards, keeping that offensive possession alive. Schooling with a back door, throws up a prayer. That's all right. The big fella cleans it up, gets an and one. He goes to the charity stripe for one more.
This is more like what Melbourne United would be expecting. Spread of scorers. Ray John Tucker has 8 points. Rattan Mays has 8 points. The Ulis hit the scoreboard. Golding 5, Marcus Lee and Barlow 6 apiece. So everybody just chiming in rather than the usual 3 suspects.
Phoenix are playing really good defense in the second quarter. Nothing easy.
And we have the pressure up the floor from Melbourne as well. Inbound the ball to Gary Brown. Guarded by Rattan Mays. Under 90 seconds out from half-time. Phoenix led by as many as 10 in the opening quarter, and they've had it out to 12 here in this term. As they roll it down to Creek once more, taking against Peatling. Nice pass. Pinot from close range needed to do better. Couldn't get the finish. Rattan Mays picks up the dribble. Gets help from Barlow. Now back to him. And they find Newley ready to go from long range. It's off the mark.
Just a pause here to wipe the floor. Brad Newley went down behind play. Good effort from Melbourne United not to let this blow out in those last couple of minutes. Because the Phoenix, as you said, Corey, they've really tightened the screws defensively. So Mitchell can have a quick substitution here. Some good offensive possessions. Mitch Creek's led the way. He's got the 14 points.
Reebok putting together a good promotion as well. You need to 24 hours here from 8 o'clock tonight until 8 o'clock tomorrow night for your chance to win 2 tickets to a Hungry Jacks NBL semi-finals game and a $1,000 Reebok voucher. Let's go to the website, shop now, and get involved.
I know one thing. I need a pair of those pumps. That's a classic sneak.
If anyone case can get a pair of pumps sorted by tomorrow, it is this man right here. You're one phone call away.
Tame's off the mark. Golding open and comes up with the finish.
Well, that just moment Ryan Brockhoff fell asleep. Offensive rebound. First person you have to find is Chris Golding. Same on the other end. Chris Golding, first person you've got to find is Ryan Brockhoff.
So the margin is 7.
Arm on that, he doesn't have to do it. Wide 11, hands on.
Over the limit, more free throws to come here for the Phoenix. They've taken 10 free throws already in this quarter.
And that's just a foul that isn't necessary.
Second personal. Brown has missed his 2 free throws so far. 69% on the season. Just enjoyed the battle against Melbourne United, though. Had 16 and 11 assists when they met in round 7. And 16 and 8 assists prior to that. So good numbers for him. His free throw shooting has been wayward. He's left 4 out there. So the margin is 7, and the chance now for Melbourne just to edge a little closer than that. Golding, the go-to man, finds it at the top of the key, is off the mark. Brockhoff grabs the rebound. Pinot can go from 3-quarter court. And it's off the money, and the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix enjoy a 7-point lead here at halftime. After leading by 5 at quarter time, they've now moved to a 45-38 lead here against Dean Biggerman's men.
Well, it's gone back and forth. That's what we expect from throwdowns. Phoenix looked like they were going to break it open early, and then Melbourne United fought back and got a 7-point game.
Let's go courtside and saw some reaction with Jenny Screen.
Hi guys, I'm here with Mitch Creek leading the way for your team with 14 points. You must be happy holding Melbourne United to 38 in that first half.
It's all right, but Goulding 2 threes, we can't let him. He's the greatest shooter this league's seen. You know, you got to pay respect to him. We don't box out on that one. Just lazy, but I think we're kind of missing chippies. We're getting good looks on the rim, but I think we're moving the ball well. Defensively is okay, but, you know, second chance, box out, stuff like that. We clean that up. I think we'll be a lot better in the second half.
Golding's obviously trouble. XRM has been a focus for you guys as well. Locking him down with Tarangi and Brown in his pocket, is that also a focus?
Just trying to take the ball out of his hands. He's very dynamic. He's a great scorer on all 3 levels. Spent a lot of time with X getting buckets on me, so we know how good he is, but we just have to make sure we keep him off his right hand. He's kind of playing with 2 right hands at the moment, so make him go left. Let's just see what he does with his percentages there.
Enjoy the halftime break, mate.
Mitch Creek there with Jenny Screen, and it is the Phoenix on top here by 7. They've had a double-figure lead in each of the first 2 quarters. Stay with us here on the Hungry Jacks at NBL. We'll be back with more halftime highlights in just a moment.
dad was a collegiate player at the University of Oklahoma, really good basketball player. Basketball for me began at a really young age. I think I started dribbling the ball at like 2 or 3. Played in high school. Wasn't really a highly touted recruit, but I had skill, I had size. Played 1 summer league, then went to China and played for a season. Crazy experience to be out of the country my first year out of college and be so far away from home. I'm a big mama's boy. I'm not afraid to say it. I like being around my mom and being close to my family. They inspired me to be greater. And so I got back from China. I hadn't really been working out too much. I didn't feel like I was in great shape, but my agent called and said, hey, the Suns want to work you out. And I'm like, oh, dang, let me lace up and get out there. So I get out there, and Earl Watson, head coach of the Suns at the time, ran the workout. And like halfway through, he stopped it and said, you know what? I can tell that you just got back and you're not in the shape that I need you to be in. Come back next week, let's do this again, be in better shape. So I get to the car, I call my mom. I'm like crying on the phone, like, Mom, I ruined it, my only opportunity to be able to do this. And she's like, get in the gym, get in shape, and come back next week and show them who you really are. I went back in the gym, got right, went back for that second workout, impressed them enough to get a 10-day, sign the rest of the season deal, and then sign a multi-year deal with them. Going back to that point about how important my family is and how they've been in my whole life, they've always put nothing but belief in me, and it allows me to go out there with a lot of confidence and play with the energy that I play with.
Williams for 3. Got it! Credit to Alan Williams for him to persevere like that. He finished with career highs of 17 points and 17 rebounds in the NBA, so he could match it with him on his night.
You know what? That was a very inspirational story I just heard, and I connect with him even more just for seizing the opportunity when he got it. Went back, wasn't in shape, went back in there, got in shape, and got the opportunity, and then it ended up in a multi-year deal in the NBA. So congratulations to him, and so happy that he's in our league.
Yeah, without a doubt. 5 double-doubles, on track for another double-double here tonight as we take a look at the Hungry Jacks highlights to halftime. Alan Williams will feature. He's got 9 points, 6 rebounds. But really, the Phoenix, well, they scored the first 2 of the game through Mitch Creek, and they have led exclusively by double figures, 10 in that first quarter, by 12 in the second. At 7 here at halftime, which incidentally was 7 points 2 weeks ago when these teams played. That was the margin at halftime in favour of the Phoenix. But just Melbourne, they've got some work to do.
Yeah, Melbourne definitely have some work to do. They're down, but they're not out. Credit to the Phoenix. They have had their way. They took advantage of the mismatches on the court, got Williams the ball in the right spot. Wolf Creek leading from the front, putting pressure on the rim. Trey Kell doing work on the perimeter and in the mid-range, and their point guard, just the maestro, just leading everybody.
Well, it's 17 free throws, the Phoenix, and just 2 for United. So 11-point differential there in a 7-point ball game, and the turnover count 11-5. Melbourne need to tidy that up. But as you say, Corey, that's credit to the way the Phoenix have been guarding them.
Man.
Off the ball as well.
Yeah, they really have been doing a really good job defensively. They sticking to the script on the scouting report. They're shrinking the court, put pressure on Golden, overplay him and make him go back door. We've seen him get a lot of back doors in the first half, but they're doing a really good job, and they can shrink the court because they're not reliable from that three-point line, and that's what's really hurting them, their inability to stretch the floor from the land of plenty. And this is exactly why the Phoenix, they're playing really good on the defensive end, and they have this lead.
Let's dig a little deeper with the analysis with Pete Hawley at the Analyzer.
I don't know if you've seen these clips, because I'm going to talk about exactly what you just talked about when you talk about the defensive effort from the Phoenix. So this is already up the floor. Trey Kell, he's guarding Lockie Barker. Mitch Creek in that plugger role, just trying to set a little tone defensively. Just let them slowly bring it up, so that's all fine there. They're going to fight through it. They know they're not trying to get too much. Now, right here, Ryan Brockhoff, he's on Chris Golding that we spoke about. This is Marcus Lee. He's fine with leaving all this space because Marcus Lee is not going to tee off and shoot. So they're going to stay attached to Chris Golding there. Ball gets thrown around to the other side, and now watch this is exceptional from Trey Kell. So Trey Kell's here. Chris Golding's got a layup if Trey Kell doesn't have a little bite on this, knowing that Lockie Barker isn't exactly Steph Curry. That's too far to shoot. Watch Trey Kell have a little bite at it, allows Brockhoff to get back in front. Mason Peatling versus Mitch Creek. Phoenix want that. They settle for this. Really good team defense from the Phoenix. And we spoke a little bit about you just mentioned it then, Corey, all the other things that the Melbourne United can try and do to attack it, well, it's right here. You get that back door from Chris Goulding, and what's the best part about this? Ray-John Tucker. Normally, you want to see a shooter go to the baseline here. He knows he's not a great shooter, so he's going to cut down the middle of the lane. Nice little dump-off pass, easy layup. And now for the Phoenix here, offensively, this is great because this is a breakdown defensively from Melbourne United. Melbourne United don't know whether they're in a 2-3 zone or they're in man-to-man. So Mitch Creek, really smart awareness. Once he sees this confusion, easy little dump down because of all the breakdown. So we have another look here. They're trying to figure out, Lockie Barker's pointing, Mitch Creek's like, well, you guys don't know what defense you're in. We're all smarter than that. I'm going to get an easy 2 points, and that's what the Phoenix have been doing so well in the first half.
They've held sway so far, but Melbourne United not completely out of it here. It's a 7-point ball game at half-time. We've got more for you from John Cain Arena here on the Hungry Jacks NBL Saturday night in just a moment. Thanks for sharing your Saturday night with us here on the Hungry Jacks NBL. And this season, with thanks to Latrobe Financial, we are giving away a guaranteed $50,000. Here's some of the entries so far. You need to take a video of yourself hitting a half-court shot, send it through to us, and we will take it from there.
Tell you what, I miss this fantastic opportunity. I miss seeing you, big fella. What happened? You asked for that just to be put it back away for a little bit, didn't you? We'll get it back.
Got to.
We're back underway here. Melbourne United with the possession arrow. Brad Newley out there to start the second half for Melbourne United. And here's Tom Mays feeding Aquera. He's off the mark. Only his second shot of the game, David Aquera. And is yet to score. We need more out of them. So now it's Gary Brown. Look, the Phoenix back to their original starting five. Williams muscles up, talked out of the points. And United with Newley. Lost the handle under pressure. Here's Brown handing off to Williams, who comes up with a finish. Adds another two.
Firstly, it's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but Trey Kell's hands, that's the pressure we spoke about at halftime. Just those little moments, that's the part of the defense identity the Phoenix need to continue to grow with. It starts with those little 1%ers.
Let's go courtside to Jenny Screen.
Guys, we spoke about Joe Chi, the top of the coverage. Just got a little bit of an update of this man. Got a few return to play items he has to tick off this week. We know that he's had the calf injury, but look, likelihood is that if he can get through those, he will be joining us on Thursday for their next game. And also with Melbourne United, I'd be pretty happy if I'm right now with a 7-point, well now a 9-point deficit. If they can tidy up the turnovers, 11, 15 points were off those for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. If they can tidy that up, we've definitely got a ball game in this second half.
Here's Newley looking to get Melbourne going in the second half, and does.
Yeah. I saw it. Did you see that? Did you see what the little fella had to say?
Golden flops too much on his cell phone.
He got the right two as well. Double O.
Might have had some help with it. Well, here's Marcus Lee and Aquera putting it on the deck. Tough shot, shut down initially by Brockhoff, but got it done nonetheless. So
notice that's been a big change right now for the Phoenix in terms of on the defensive end. One, set the tone. Trey Kell's getting up and about, and there's that handle from Gary Brown. Oh, my. Man. How quick. A little between the legs, and he's gone. Brockhoff ready to tee off, but down the other end, they're just walling up. They're playing straight up. They're not being too undisciplined. They're not trying to hack. Just letting them try and score through the body.
Tidy handover there from Aquera to Newley, but they go on with it. And Newley from close range helps himself to two more. He's got 6 in the game.
Nice take from Newley. 2 easy takes, good deflection on defense. Melbourne United energy on defense. This will be big right here.
Golding works inside Creek. Look away pass for Lee. Ball slapped out of his hands.
There's Trey Kell once again, just coming in with the really good hands.
Definitely stopped 2 points. That would have been a dunk.
Oh, look at this. Trey Kell just impacted play. Really good timing.
And you know what? That saved Williams' 3rd foul, because that's what that would have been, and him headed to the bench.
That's why Trey Kell was brought in as the primary defender. Yes, you can score on the offensive end, but this is the team that's never had an issue in that regard. This is where they want him to continue to grow.
Williams reaching in against Golding. Needs help. Lee. Shot clock at 10. Rattan Mays. Brown. Rattan Mays elevates. Short on the rim. And loose ball comes to Brockhoff. Now Brown. Brockhoff getting busy here. Contact on the shot, no whistle. Phoenix come up empty. Aquera ends over. Golding in traffic. Bounced into Gary Brown. Loose ball came to Lee. Whistle on the play as well, so free throws to come.
Mention the contact. Ryan Brockhoff asking the question as well, saying you've got to call that one right in front of the referee.
Look at the attention that this man. That play, good extra pass. Oh, I'm sure Lee wanted that.
It's 0-1 of the night.
That layup back.
Got to flush that. That's all right. Well, he could make himself even more of a fan favourite. I know it's your away game, but you can still give some burgers to your local faithful.
There's time to do it. At least you're feeding the home fans as well, your home fans.
That's exactly right. Oh, never in doubt.
First free throw success of the night for Melbourne United. And they're back to within 4 here. Kell. By Newley, likes his chances, rushes down low, and Lee swatted it away.
With a nice flex afterwards and stared him down. Great rim protection. Looked like he had a layup had he went up with his left, but he went right. Gets it knocked in the stands. Get that out of here.
Good timing, and you're right. Trey Kell would have wanted that one back. He did have a layup. He went with the left.
So the Phoenix, just 5 points for them here in 3 and a bit minutes of action since half-time, and it's come unstuck again, and Rattan Mays
time out here.
gets the layup, but it's back to a 2-point game.
It's just great defense by Melbourne United, coming out aggressive at both ends, getting stops, getting out. Right before that play happened, you heard Coach Vickerman say, "Come on, Chris."
He responded.
10-3 run in the last 2 minutes here from Melbourne United, and some right back in the frame.
Sam, I like the way you've come out this quarter. All right, good. Don't get lazy on any handoff right now. Like they're fighting, they're banging those things out of your hand. Put it in people's hands every time. In the blue right now. Tuck, X. When you guys get in this slot right now, we can't open up that we're given straight lines. We saw that last time, right? Once you get to the blue, keep trying to direct it more that way, all right? Shift onto the body and then downhill. He's going to be there for you, all right? But we can't let the straight line drive. Crowd, no rejections. Push it to the screen, all right? Go with the shakes down again. Go with the shakes down, all right? Aggressive, get to the spot. See the slip, all right? Then we got it from there. Here we go.
Good adjustment from Coach Dean Vickerman out of half-time there, starting Newley. Gets in a couple of buckets, 4 out of their 10 points, changes the momentum, and now he brings Ray John Tucker in.
Well, a lot of their offense in that first half was east to west, so they were just running around the three-point line. Credit the Phoenix defense really forcing them to do that. They just honed in on Chris Golding and said, whoever wants to tee off from 3, we'll try and let them beat us. There is Shea Illy, and hoping to get him back sooner rather than later. Copped another little hit to the head after, I think that will be 3 concussions now in the matter of 3 months. So he's a bit of a worry. Hopefully we can see him back out there on the floor.
It was good news earlier that Jen provided as well on Joe Chi, because he's only played 5 games this season, Joe Chi, and the Phoenix are 4-1 when he plays. Hasn't played for 5 weeks. And I really think the Phoenix, on what we're seeing here with their defense, add Joe Chi to that mix, and I think they're right there. They're amongst the contenders.
And I agree.
The key with that, I will say, is Alan Williams is different to Joe Chi. So they played that drops defense on the ball screen where he sags off, because you don't want him on the perimeter, you want him to protect the rim. He's a great shot blocker. So the emphasis is going to be on Trey Kell to continue to get up and in, to fight over the screens, to be a primary defender. So Gary Brown's going to have to continue to do that. The guards off the bench. Trey Kell filling it up on the other end right now. 14 points on the night, 3 threes. If they can get that sorted, then absolutely, no doubt about it.
Important bucket for the Phoenix as they edge out to a 5-point buffer. Melbourne grabbing the momentum here at the start of the second half. Golding double team. Now, single coverage against Brockhoff. Penetration, contact, no whistle. Shot clock rolls to 1. Aquera must pull the trigger. Couldn't get it done. But a chance for Melbourne to keep it alive, and they do get a second opportunity.
Great hustle by Lead.
The shot clock rolls to 5 once more. Tucker needs to get busy here against Mitch Creek. Forced into a fall away, all the bottom of the net. Nice finish.
That's just great hustle to keep the ball alive. XRM throwing it into Lead. Tucker, great take. It was tough.
Those are the kind of plays that matter in throwdowns.
Yes, it is. He's up to double figures. 5 of 9, 10 points.
Kell going from deep. This time couldn't finish it. Ball came back to Brown. Slapped away from him by Ray John Tucker. Now Rattan Mays backs his way down low against Gary Brown. Tough shot from him as well. And not working at the moment. Well, the pass for Kell from Brown just had a little too much on it. Now a loose ball.
He hyped up his passing, Corey. That was one that could have just probably been a chest pass.
A little bit too much. I see the Amy replay. Tough take. Nice turnaround. Gets stopped on the bump.
Going to slow right down here, and they got away with a little happy feet.
Nice Amy replay. Great hustle by both teams. Ooh.
I think he's out on his head. You might have missed it before. That turnover from Gary Brown. Mitch Creek was open on the wing for 3, and he just held it a bit too long, and then they had the turnover. Mitch Creek went straight to him and said, I need that ball. You've got to whip that ball to me there. Straight off the offensive board, let him go to work.
So Adnam onto the floor. Exchanges passes here with Tarangi. Someone with a dribble in traffic. Wants to take Barker on. Couldn't get it done. Lee hands over to Tucker. And Melbourne playing with some momentum here. Williams cutting across is going to be called for his 3rd personal foul.
There's another one, Corey. We talk about, guys, you're too important to the team. What are you doing out there? If you're going to get caught in this position, you just can't foul.
Definitely can't foul.
Get out of the way or run back towards the hoop, because I tell you what, if that's your 3rd. You're going to have to sit down now with 4.5 minutes to go. If you pick up a 4th quickly that's a really good foul, then all of a sudden you're 1 away from an early shower. It's just those little ones that you're too important to the team. Just get out of the way.
Particularly after Melbourne have reeled in a 12-point lead here to cut it to just 3. It's Tucker. Barlow, looking good tonight. Golding goes back to him. Baseline to Barker. An opening for him, and with the shot clock expiring in the background, he gets the margin back to 1.
That is a nice take with the shot clock going down. And almost another turnover. How did that not get stolen?
It's Kell. May have traveled, that's the call.
Travel. Melbourne United have picked up their play in this 3rd quarter. This is the best stretch at both ends of the court for Melbourne United.
14 points to 8. They've outscored. The Phoenix here since half-time. It's dried up at the offensive end for the Phoenix as Tucker muscles his way inside, can't convert. Creek did well to drag down the rebound. Number 5 for him in that category. Hasn't scored since half-time, though, Mitch Creek, and that is way short.
That is a frustration shot. That is a shot of a man who had 14 points in the first half, got wherever he wanted, had a couple of assists, and just has not seen it enough in this 3rd quarter. Gone away from an advantage they've had, and there's a turnover to help the cause.
Well done, Junior Madut, with the D there, slapping the ball down off the foot of Lockie Barker and out of court.
And that's what you have to do when you're a reserve. Come in and provide energy on the defensive end. Good job by Madut.
Phoenix 3 of 10 from the field since half-time and haven't been to the free throw line. So the offense is just spluttering at the moment. Gary Brown elevates and helps himself to 2 more.
That is his sweet spot. Making up for that turnover he had earlier.
It's a little over 3 minutes out from 3-quarter time. The arm wrestle that we were expecting in the throwdown is eventuating. Tucker off the mark. Lee's pass.
There's
unsportsmanlike foul now called.
Trying to get out of the way and then realised too late. That's an easy one. Gary Brown Jr. off to the races, Dave. That's exactly what they talked about that first half. As soon as you go that outside hand, outside arm, it's a hug. It's an unsportsmanlike foul. Whereas the only opposite difference when that first one from Chris Golding went with the inside, where you kind of use your body to bump as you go reach for the ball. It looked like you're doing that. That play there might even be clipped up and put in the unsportsmanlike dictionary. What it is, that right there.
Well, the woes continue from the free throw line here for Gary Brown. It's quite extraordinary, really. None of 5 from the free throw line. And his numbers in the loss 48 hours ago in New Zealand were curious as well. He had just 5 points, 0 assists, and this is a man that averages 8 to lead the competition. He had 5 turnovers and played just 19 minutes, but did have 4 fouls, which I'm sure was a factor.
And sat out with a shoulder injury too, I believe, at the end. I don't think that was the entire reason that he struggled. I think a lot of credit there. So there's going to be a foul on Dave Barlow again.
Gee, he looked like he travelled there.
He definitely got away with one.
Foul might have happened beforehand. Well, I think if he didn't get that foul call, the travel was coming.
Second foul on Barlow. Rajon Tucker has 3 fouls, the most in the game, along with Alan Williams. Hard work from Melbourne, though. Just the last minute or so, it's been going their way as Brown misfires. Here's Newley. Golding. inside the last 3 minutes of the third quarter. Golding against Junior Madut, hands over. Lee went to go back to him and it was deflected out of court. Junior Madut claiming he didn't touch it.
I'll tell you what, if he absolutely didn't touch it, he should be screaming to Simon Mitchell. There's only one person who knows, and it's him.
That means he touched it.
I'm with you. He got it with his left hand.
The shot clock rolls to 5 for Rattan Mays. Hence Brown confronted by Pinot, and here's Newley working baseline to come up with another 2.
Big third quarter for Brad Newley.
He averages 3 a game. He's up to 8 here on 4 of 5 shooting, including 6 in this quarter.
Put heat on the rim, getting 3 layups.
6 out of the 16 that Melbourne have scored. Back to within 2, and he's got the rebound as well. So a nice cameo here from the veteran Brad Newley.
8 minutes have gone by this quarter, and Mitch Creek did not get the ball but once.
I'll tell you what, that's another unsportsmanlike.
What are they thinking?
Well,
what are they thinking?
I'm with you. We so often say this about the other team. Let's have another look here. And it's a letter of the law. That is exactly what you cannot do. I know Brad Newley just out of position, and you're trying to do it the right way. That outside arm, it's a hug. It is an unsportsmanlike foul. He doesn't like it, but it is.
I'm going to tell you this. If you're going to get unsportsmanlike, you're going to send somebody to the line.
This is the one.
This is the guy you want to send. He is 1 of 6.
I reckon you put your arm
so you can hear Brad Newley saying, I went for the ball, and he's correct. That's what he was trying to do. As Gary Brown gets that one to roll, but that's why you have to try and go with that inside arm, because as soon as you do that, even if you are trying to go for the ball, it's deemed that hug, and it's just going to be an unsportsmanlike foul every single time. There you go.
Overdue, but
took a bit of time, but he got there eventually.
He got there.
So the margin is 4. It's tightened right up here after Phoenix led by 10 in the opening quarter and by 12 in the second. Scored first here at the start of the third to lead by 9. And right now, Melbourne have worked their way back into the frame less than 2 minutes out from three-quarter time. Brown exploring off glass, adds another 2.
Tough shot off the glass, straight up. That's the toughest angle to make a shot like that.
He's got 7 in this quarter now, Gary Brown, out of his 14. No one has more in the game. As Newley exploring, went to Barlow, almost stolen by Brown. Rattan Mays and broken play. Can't connect. Chance for the Phoenix here to extend their 6-point margin. Mitch Creek with it now against Peatling in the matchup they want. He puts it on the deck. Muscles down low. Battled around the rim wouldn't work, and now a whistle on the play as well. Foul's going to be called on Dane Pinot. Going to be his first personal. Just 15 points here for the Phoenix in the third quarter. Starting to become an issue at the offensive end. So Golding with the ball carrying duties against Madut. Goes on with it into the paint, takes him on, couldn't get it to go. Well done Madut to keep that alive, and then Brown with support running through Tarangi, takes them on, and free throws to come here.
And that is great one-on-one defense by Junior Madut, and he ends up blocking Chris Goulden as he attempts to get to the rack.
I understand you're frustrated, but no more, you can't yell at
That's
me
great
like that.
defense. It's a real good take.
Push the whole way.
I'll tell you what, it was a great take, but what I would have loved to see there, Ryan Brockhoff was trailing behind. Steve Vickerman's not happy. But Ryan Brockhoff just to scream for Tarangi to get that little one in transition.
Melbourne United 5-8 is their record this season. They went 20-8 last season on their way to the semi-finals.
Great job by Dane Pinot doing what he does, coming up with offensive rebounds. And another foul. Melbourne United have just done, to be honest with you, given Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
Golding he saw straight away. He was trying to stop them from going up to set that screen. Just saying.
Just for giving them gifts.
Mental lapse.
They had them under pressure, on the ropes.
Well, they did, because they got them out of going to Mitch Creek this whole quarter. Man, just a couple of opportunities. Can't send Ryan Brockhoff to the line.
It was a one-point game.
He's automatic.
Unsportsmanlike.
Yep.
Another unsportsmanlike.
Yep.
Then they get momentum.
And since then, it's been 10 points to 2 in that 3-minute spell. And the margin is all of a sudden back out to 9. That's where we were when Phoenix scored the first bucket of this third quarter. So Melbourne have let it slip after some good work. He's Peatling in traffic, drawing a whistle. 4th team foul on the Phoenix in this quarter.
And if you genuinely do it, you just don't have to do that. Gary Brown Jr. had that under control. Mason Peatling slows down and then tries to back down Brown Jr. Maybe that's when you have a little swipe down at it.
So Ratan Mays with it. Shot clock to single digits. He goes solo. This time he knocks it down. So 13 in the game now for him.
41% from 3 coming into this game. Just outstanding shooting. We know he's just knocked out from the mid-range. For all that hard work, he's just 46% from the free throw line himself.
Last play of the third. Brown will poke from behind there. Ratan Mays sprung it loose, and now he's got a chance to add another 2. And the tip-in belongs to Mason Peatling on the buzzer. He throws it down, puts a lid on 2, and the Melbourne United are coming. They've closed it right up now and got it back to a 4-point ball game. It's 63-59 with a quarter to play, and Melbourne are threatening, and they are coming at the moment as Peatling puts a lid on 2. More coming at you right after this. Always a fun night at John Cain Arena when the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix are hosting. They put on plenty of razzmatazz and colour. I love the band. I think more teams need to do it.
Oh, we play strictly 80s Joel, okay? Strictly 80s Joel here in the band.
Get to a game if you can. Of course, they're taking some games to the Heartland coming up as well. So get around them. And right now, they've got their hands full because Melbourne United, Well, they are threatening at the moment. They've closed to within 4 points, and they've got the possession arrow to start, but they didn't make much of it. Peatling bailed out there by Rattan Mays, getting back and just rescuing the situation. Wasn't the start that they were hoping for, but they've got it back on an even keel now, and Rattan Mays is short again, but he'll get another chance to make the adjustment. Can't finish though.
They need to establish Mitch Creek right now.
Go to Williams from close range. He's fouled, so free throws to come.
And this is, I feel like you're stuck in a time again, which teams often do to the main offensive threat or the main player from the opposition. He still needs to be part of the offensive set. Whether you put him at the high post or you put him in some action where everybody knows that's the focus of it. Because otherwise you just bail him out. You bail out Melbourne United by not even going through him. And it's the same on the other end. We broken record, we're talking about if Chris Goulding, if teams are going to sit in his pocket, he needs to be setting screens. He needs to be coming off handoffs, maybe giving back up to somebody else. Because when he's got the ball, everyone's looking at him.
Chris Goulding with 2 of 5 from long range in this game, so closing in on that 1,000 mark of 3-pointers.
996.
996. Get around it, because when he does hit the 1,003, could happen on Monday night in Wollongong.
There's still 9 minutes, Case.
Could still happen here as well, but you may never see it again in the NBL. He could be the last person ever to make 1,000 threes if you go through the numbers. And right now, it doesn't matter if it's a 2 or a 3 for Melbourne, because they're closing a game.
That is an incredible feat. He may be the last one.
I mean, there's not too many more. Amongst active players, well, it is slim pickings after that, because next in current players, Cam Glidden, 592. There you see Williams taking on Peatling.
How many years has Goulding played NBL?
Chris Goulding. Yep. This is his 16th season in the NBL.
He's going to get to 20.
So Williams makes a free throw.
Tell you what, we saw his feature last week when I had a chat to him at the Blitz and how it all started. No one wanted him. No one wanted him. He was calling around the Hawks.
That.
He was calling around. He was a development player for the Wildcats.
Yep.
And he ended up the Gold Coast Blaze, and ended up having a call from Chris Anstey saying, "Do you want to come down and play for the Tigers?" And the rest was history.
Never give up, man. Never give up.
A 6-point edge here for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. A little over a minute played in this final quarter. Alan Williams is 9 of 9 from the free throw line in this game. Impressive work from him. Rattan Mays threads the needle. He found Marcus Lee, and he's off to the strike.
Smart pass. Marcus Lee had a pretty good outing. 8 points, got 8 rebounds. Very solid.
It's around his ability to just penetrate, draw the D.
Let's go courtside to Jenny Screen.
Marcus Lee, guys, we know he's only been in town for about 3 weeks. The new recruit for Melbourne United. We heard their assistant coaches talk about him, and he's not a star. He's not going to give you big numbers, but he's been great tonight, collecting some points and some great rebounds as well, and throwing down some dunks. But he could be the glue piece for these guys as they try and make a run for that top 6 and potentially top 4 for the rest of the season.
I couldn't agree more, Jen. I think we're yet to see the best of him. 10 and 8 in 18 minutes. That's 10 points, 8 rebounds against Tassie last week. And here he is right now with a 9 and 8 clip at the moment. And as we know, he can protect the rim as well. As Kell works baseline, he fires, can't connect, and Tucker the rebound. Melbourne are getting some momentum here. They're down 5 at the moment, but Peatling in the corner just couldn't get it to go. 3 ball, 5 of 19 now for United. Phoenix 6 of 19. Gary Brown. A sneaky triple-double watch for Brown at the moment as well. If you look at his numbers.
14, 7, and 7.
Great pass over the top.
Fouled by Creek. Mitch Creek picks up his 2nd personal.
And you just said it, JC. Great foul by Creek, because that was an easy dunk.
Good effort.
Make the big fella earn it from the stripe.
It's 3 of 5 on the night.
And it's not picture perfect technically from the free throw line, Marcus Lee.
Doesn't matter. If you practice, this is what frustrates me a lot, is so often we see people try and get that technically right, but if you're lights out, case now, I don't think Case has ever turned a curse into a Burgess in all the years that he's done it. So Marcus Lee will no doubt switch this one for you, Case. It's just, he's incapable of giving away burgers. The commentators curse these. I'm sure Marcus Lee might have a couple in him this season.
I think he might. 4-point ball game, 7.5 to play. Phoenix have led exclusively in the game, but it's still up for grabs.
That might have been the first post touch for Mitch Creek. Mid-post touch, and look what happened.
But you see, that's exactly right, because the play was designed for Alan Williams to do this, because everybody's focused right now on Mitch Creek versus Mason Peatling. Alan Williams gets to just get deep, seal on Marcus Lee, and it's an easy foul call. He doesn't have to go one-on-one, but everybody looks at him with the ball. Oh, this is a breakdown. That's a layup.
Can't convert Brockoff. Tucker grabs the rebound, and he's off and running as well. It's into the paint. Nice move, and an easy two for John Tucker, who's got 12 in the game, and only Rattan Mays with 13 has more for Melbourne.
In an open court is when he is at his best. 2-point game.
He's playing with 4 fouls, Tucker. They sat down Marcus Lee when he picked up his 4th. There's Williams against Barlow. Skip play to Mitch Creek, who steps outside the 3-point line. Can't connect, though, and Tucker snatches another rebound. Coughed it up, though, and now Chance Brockoff. Brown in support. Creek joining in. 3-on-1 fast break, and Brown adds the finishing touches. 16 to lead all scorers for him.
Timeout here.
Timeout called. It's the Phoenix on top by 4.
That's what we get from throwdowns. It always comes down to the wire. Right now, it seems like whichever team doesn't want to make too many mistakes is going to go on to win. Bit of deja vu from Adelaide 36ers and Cairns Taipans. That was interesting, to say the least.
Incredible finish, wasn't it?
I'm not sure I've ever seen a finish like that.
Never seen a finish like that. I haven't. Especially that travel at the end.
That's what I'm talking about. I know you just have a bit of a brain fade, but and then I think even the referee was just like, well, hang on, what did I just see? That didn't just happen, surely.
But it did. Last week we saw Melbourne shoot 50, 40, 90 and win the rebound count and lose. Strange things.
That was nuts.
It's just all part of the rich tapestry that is the Hungry Jacks NBL. We are always entertaining you. Game up for grabs here at John Cain Arena. Phoenix on top by 4 with Hungry Jacks NBL Whopper your way to LA. You can get it all the way across to the USA. Grab any large burger meal at Hungry Jacks and enter your receipt code to win 4 tickets, flights, spending money and accommodation. A basketball game in the USA thrown in for good measure. So enter now at hungryjacks.com.au/Whopper LA.
That is incredible.
The burgers are worth it just for the burger. Now you're going to throw in a trip to LA as well.
That is nuts. That's an incredible opportunity.
Home fans for the Phoenix a little nervous here at the moment. They've led the entire game. But they're only 4 in front here with 6.5 to play. And Melbourne are lurking within 10 as Golding fires and can't connect.
That's really good defense, one-on-one from Trey Cal.
That's exactly what they want to continue to do.
I like to see Mitch Creek with the ball. He has the mismatch. Play through him.
Here's Brockoff.
Oh, wow.
Rid of Tucker, wide open, and Brockoff knocks down another. His second 3 of the night.
As soon as he left his feet, you could hear Dean Vickerman actually screaming, because that just meant Ryan Brockoff, who just missed a wide open one, was never going to miss that one.
He's been screaming a lot.
Oh, sorry.
The last few weeks.
But he knew exactly that was a mistake.
Peatling from close range, rattles around the rim and gets the 2. And his second field goal of the game for Mason Peatling. Brown has picked up his 8th rebound. Here's Creek. Mismatch with Rattan Mays. Single coverage. Oh, he just tried to spin too quickly and turned it over as we go courtside to Jenny Screen.
Just a quick mention, guys. Fourth quarters weren't favourable to Melbourne United against the Jack Jumpers. They were outscored 17-6 in the last 6 minutes of a game that they led for pretty much 37 of the 40 minutes. So let's see how this one plays out in the last 5.5 here.
I'm sure that game is still haunted because we called it, and Milton Doyle scored the first 2 of the game to give Tassie the lead, and then scored at the end to re-give them the lead. They didn't lead any time in between that.
Doyle down the stretch of that game was huge.
Yeah, monster, wasn't he?
Oh, assassin.
So here's Peatling working on Williams. Playing with 3 fouls. They get it to Rattan Mays in the corner. He's off the mark. Holding in over the back of Gary Brown. Gets it back. Up for the pass inside. It wasn't on. Kell exploring. Wants to go coast to coast. Dishes outside. Creek behind the back. So the reset here. Nothing on offer quickly for the Phoenix. Williams against Peatling is going to be called for the foul. And that's the 4th team foul on Melbourne in this quarter. Peatling gets his 3rd personal.
Here's the only replay. Here's when Dee Vickman right here was having heart palpitations.
Well, the biggest mistake was you didn't lock and trail.
Oh, yeah,
you went over.
Cannot shoot the gap. Because I tell you what, you might think it's a good read at the time, but do you know how many times players who have shot the gap against Ryan Brockhoff in his career? He knows as soon as he sees that, he's going to fade a little bit to the corner, and the only thing you can do is try and jump out and try and block him and then fly by. Sets his feet.
Mays spinning baseline. Nice move, nice finish. 15 in the game now for him.
How's that? Just rolled off. Just a Fisher and Peichel.
Super smooth with that one.
Margin cut to 3. 4.5 to play. Look for Creek down low against Barlow. Help from Peatling. Knocked it away. Defensive presence was good there. A chance for United here. And that's an unsportsmanlike foul almost. Called on Gary Brown. Going to be his 2nd personal. There you see it. On the wraparound, there were a couple there. I think maybe if you added the 2 together, you'd get the unsportsmanlike foul. But Brown sits down. Peatling gets a rest as well. 3-point ball game. The biggest margin we've seen at any stage was 12 points in the 2nd quarter. Phoenix were out by 10 in the opening quarter as well. As I mentioned, they have led exclusively as Rattan Mays reaching in. Kell is called for the foul. Going to be his 2nd personal. 4th team foul on the Phoenix in this quarter.
Trey Kell doing a really good job sliding his feet, but his hand got caught in that cookie jar. A little bit too overzealous right there.
Oh, you're right. Again, for about 80% of that, it was tremendous defense. Just didn't have to do it. You already made him pick up his dribble and start going backwards. Just keep your hands out.
Melbourne are 1 of 9 from deep since half-time and none of 5 in this quarter. They're almost overdue, you might say, as Golding comes up with a triple. What a hit! Ties it away at 72 with 3.5 minutes to play.
That is all class.
997.
Over the hands of 2 defenders.
Here's Williams. A nice finish from him from the foul line as well.
We're going to have a floater off. Tyler Harvey versus Alan Williams.
That'd be entertaining.
He's got a nice touch on that.
Free throw floater.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't seen that from anyone other than Tyler Harvey.
Well, loose ball. Rattan Mays was trying to work it to Lee, who was expecting the shot to go up. And they've turned it over for the 17th time, Melbourne. Phoenix have 11 in that category. Williams muscling up down low, shut down there by Marcus Lee. But the Phoenix will get it back. Good hustle from Marcus Lee. He's playing with 4 fouls. They have to roll the dice with him at the moment. Tucker comes back on the floor as well. He has 4 fouls. There's 3:07 on the clock. We're playing for all the marbles here in this throwdown. 19. Top of the key. Brown off the mark. Tucker the rebound. 4th quarter of the game for Tucker to go with 12 points. He's exploring against Mitch Creek, who reaches in, dislodges the ball. Great defensive game from the Phoenix.
I'd like to see Mitch Creek get a touch.
Gary Brown against Ratar Mays, working the clock here. Rolls to single digits for him now. Williams. Golding came out and drew a whistle, so free throws to come for Alan Williams, who's 9 of 9 from the free throw line in the game.
Casey, really trying to put that theory that you can't curse too many players to the test. Oh, you keep stats on everything. You keep numbers. You remember your first ever call. Absolutely everything.
Marcus Lee with his 5th.
Do you remember?
He will take a seat.
Yeah, Lee fouls out.
Do you keep a stat for how many commentators' curses you've done over the course of your career?
Too many. Too many.
Well, add one to it.
That's yours. You're trying to hand that one to me. You're the one talking about it. As Marcus Lee fouls out. Just his 3rd game. First time he's done that. He makes the adjustment there. So 10 of 11 it is for Alan Williams. 17 points, 11 boards for him. His 6th double-double and 3rd double-double in 3 throwdowns. Phoenix by 3. A little over 2 minutes out from the decision here. Tom Mays, Barlow. Now Tucker. Gets it back to Barlow. It was good early. Peatling. Excellent work with the offensive rebound, and now he needs support. Gets it back to Barlow. They got Golding in the corner. Can't finish it. Tucker almost with a clean-up dunk.
Well, they dodged one there. The Phoenix massive offensive rebound by Mason Peatling. Golding's not going to get too many better looks than that.
Neither team can afford to foul here in the last 1:50 on the clock. Brown exploring. Williams takes on Barlow. Offensive rebound for Mitch Creek, and he's fouled and off to the stripe.
Hasn't scored since halftime, Mitch Creek. 4 of 14 from the field, 5 of 6 from the line. He's got 6 boards, 2 assists. Big free throws coming up.
Big free throws coming up.
74% from the stripe this season. Phoenix is a team 3rd best in the competition, but Gary Brown again has turned it on here. 16 points, 7 assists, 8 rebounds. Just continues to rack up very good numbers against his crosstown rival.
He's the closer for this team. He's doing a good job so far in this one. Outside of him missing those free throws, he's been, pretty good. 16 points. 7 assists, 8 rebounds, has a little bit too many turnovers, but for them right now, this is the guy that they put the trust in at the end of the games. Let's see if he can close out yet another one.
In the 3rd straight game against Melbourne, he's had 16 points and 7 or more assists. Just missed a consistency there. Of course, round 10 gets underway. Indigenous round will start on Thursday night. New Zealand against Sydney and the Phoenix against Illawarra, the 2 Thursday night games. And we're going to be rolling out the Indigenous jerseys from the NBL23.com.au. I was fortunate enough to be at the launch of the Adelaide jersey during the week, and that looks very sharp. But most clubs these days have got this down to a very
fantastic. They are all fantastic, and the best part about it, everyone's individual story makes it even more brilliant. So if you do want to get your hands on a jersey, make sure you read up on special story behind every single one of them. Best round of the year. And the best part about it, it's multiple rounds.
Exactly. So it's going to run over from December 8 to 21. The jerseys are now available for sale at nblstore.com.au. And get around them and the stories that they are telling as well. Although I did see the Adelaide 36ers social media having a little bit of fun at Cairns Taipan's expense.
I saw... Look, I love it. I think over the last couple of years, our social media teams in the NBL have continued to raise the bar.
Mitch Creek has to get some breathing space, and it's now a 5-point edge. They started this quarter leading by 4, the Phoenix. They got it out to 5 with 1:40 to play. Melbourne digging deep here as they stare down a 4th consecutive loss. They have lost 5 in a row previously, but it's been 2 years since they've lost 4 in a row. This is right at the moment. They've got 5 on the shot clock, and Tucker takes on Brockhoff. Couldn't get it done. Good defense there from Ryan Brockhoff, who gets up counting his teeth. Took straight on from Tucker and then gets pinballed through the keyway by Barlow into Golding as well. So Time is the enemy of Melbourne United here. Red numbers on the shot clock now for the Phoenix. Brown must get something happening and quickly. He fires the three. It's off the mark. He missed the rim, so shot clock violation is called. So they need a quick bucket here. As you can see, Simon Mitchell, coach of the Phoenix, very wary. Stranger things have happened. Peatling will restart here. Pressure up the floor. They get the ball out of Ratan Mays' hands, and it's John Tucker. Peatling. Now they get Golding involved against Mitch Creek. Comes across Williams. He fires. He's off the mark. They forced him into a tough shot. Couldn't get it done.
It's too much pressure on Chris Goulden to come up with these big plays. Possession after possession.
So again, the Phoenix are going to milk the clock here. Shot clock rolls to single digits. Melbourne desperate for a stop. Brown draws contact. So free throws to come now for Gary Brown, who's 3 of 8 from the free throw line. It might have been smarter just to foul him earlier than that.
Oh, so spot on. But also, the way that they could get the ball out of Ratan Mays' hands was great, because they took plenty of time off the shot clock. Ray John Tucker was trying to get the ball through and trying to make something happen. Just those little moments that don't show up on the stat sheet.
There's a lot to like about how the Phoenix have gone about this tonight. They have led vast majority, in fact, exclusively. Melbourne never in front. And this is a team that 48 hours ago had their biggest loss in 2 seasons, going down by 26 to New Zealand.
Gary Brown, man, a floor general. Gets the ball in the right people's hands.
He may be the best at it in the competition at the moment.
He's a great closer.
He is.
He wants the pressure. He keeps the ball in his hands, and he's making the right decision.
That's why I say, with Joe Chi back in the lineup, I think they're legit. Margin is 6. Tucker trying to explore up the floor quickly. Tough shot, never looked likely. Rockoff puts a stop to it.
That'll do it.
And that will do it for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They scored the first 2 of the game and led at every change, and they are going to prevail. And the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix score back-to-back wins over their crosstown rivals Melbourne United for the first time in franchise history. Phoenix 78, Melbourne 72.
Oh, Williams just saying this is our city.
He said this is our you-know-what.
That's a big win. Wasn't pretty at times. Phoenix got the job done. Everybody chimed in. All 5 starters in double figures. Just 3 points off the bench. That was an issue in the New Zealand Breakers game. Gary Brown, he was enormous. Alan Williams was big. He had 18 and 12. But Gary Brown, what a performance that he had. He's our full locker player of the game. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. You called him the floor general, Corey, and he was all that and more. He was outstanding.
The closer. Bouncing back off of that. His worst performance in this league against New Zealand. Great bounce back from the team. It's never easy with your second game in a round.
I think Pete Hawley mentioned at the top of the game, though, that teams who have lost heavily tend to bounce back well.
I've seen it all season long. It's happened to numerous teams, nearly every team. They've done an exceptional job, and it's the beauty of playing within 48 hours after you've done something disappointing. Come back and do this.
Well, they've done it in style here. It is the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix prevailing by 6 points. We'll be back with more to wrap it up here on your Saturday night in the Hungry Jacks NBL in just a moment. Well, a good bounce-back win for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix after losing by 26 to New Zealand on Thursday night, the heaviest loss of the season. They bounce back and score a 6-point win over their crosstown rivals. Melbourne United, 78-72 is the final. Back-to-back wins in a throwdown for the first time in franchise history in throwdown number 19.
Wasn't always pretty, but they got the job done. I tell you what, they had numerous opportunities to blow it open as we look at the Hungry Jacks highlights. And Melbourne United had many opportunities to take the lead and maybe go on a run of their own. And in the end, the Phoenix just held on, but Gary Brown was enormous. He made big plays down the stretch. Mitch Creek kind of set the tone in that first half. He was quiet in the second. Alan Williams continues to do Alan Williams things, and the bench points may be a bit of a concern, just 3 points, but everybody in starters had double figures, which is always a handy thing to have.
I want to give a shout out to Trey Kell, because he was huge on the defensive end, and to show his ability to be consistent, a two-way player, they're going to need that because he did a really good job. They did consecutively, but he did a really good job on Chris Gould tonight.
They were impressive, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Get it done at the defensive end, and they have beaten Melbourne here by 6 points. Trust you've enjoyed our coverage tonight. On behalf of Pete Hooley, Corey Williams, Jenny Screen, who was courtside, I'm John Casey. Our hard-working crew behind the scenes, best in the business. We'll be back to do it again tomorrow. Sydney versus Adelaide, Brisbane versus Tassie. Enjoy the rest of your night.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.